What's up, everyone? This is Lorenzo with Unicorn Riot. We are still in Tijuana, Mexico. We want to walk you out to where on Sunday there was tear gas deployed by the United States Border Patrol. As you can see here right now, they're working on this fence. If you look back at all that footage, just kind of where it all was going down, where it was all happening, where they used the tear gas to just kind of float into Mexico, as you see. Because Mexico is just this way. You can feel the wind coming from that direction. So that means that the tear gas kind of just hit the ground. All that tear gas just going into Mexico. We're gonna walk this way, kind of see what's going on, or what else is over here. You can see there's some people waiting. But again, we're in Tijuana, Mexico. We've been here a few days, just sort of documenting as these caravans come up, and we just witnessed 2 caravans come up. We're gonna show you some footage of that later. But when we were about to leave, 2 buses came and a truck full of people, women, children, just started pouring out of the back of the bus, back of the truck. You know, the gate came up, and it was just amazing sort of to watch that many people pushed into such a small space. And so we saw that. So there's still people coming here. We're hearing that there was some disinformation outside saying that people were going back. We didn't witness much of that. And the press conference earlier that was put on by the caravan, they said that they wanted to have information about people who are being disappeared. They feel like supposedly the government has said that they deported people, and there's that information of who they were, what their names are, is not being spreading to the camps. And now people are missing their friends, don't know where they're at anymore, don't have any information about what happened to them. And it's also, they're saying, it kind of feels dangerous around the camp. They don't know who's approaching who and who's taking who, and it's becoming really unclear now. And now they feel people are missing, and so they want those names of those people who are deported so they can check to make sure they're okay. But yeah, so you see here this front loader putting more dirt, razor wire across the top, and they have this little canal, and I think that's for the water to go through maybe. And I don't really understand how the border is demarcated here. I guess we're hearing some people tell us that the border is sort of spread out a little bit forward this way, and so when you get close down here, you're kind of in the United States, and you don't know that it's not very clear. And you see this big border here. It's obvious. You have a mound of dirt, razor wire. Obviously, somebody doesn't want someone to cross over there. But from the information we were kind of being told as we were walking up, is that sort of the border extends a little further out this way, and so you won't know you're actually trespassing or doing anything when you're in an area. And so that was unclear. But to us, I mean, it's a clear line. Yeah. So we just wanted to bring it out here really quick. I'm gonna see if there's any questions or anything like that. If you look back on Sunday, this is where people were kind of pouring over. They were trying to march across this bridge, and from what we heard at the press conference, they're saying they're trying to march. They came out, they manifested to show the world that they were still here, that they were still waiting, they need food, they need water, and they felt the only way they could do that was by marching out peacefully to show the world by being in the streets and being aware, and that way they're visible. And then in that process, when they came up there, they felt they were attacked by the United States. And then people started just doing what people do. Some people tried to get across. I think there was 64, 69 people, something like that, were arrested who crossed over to the United States. And I'm not sure what happened from that point, but I do know that the information, sort of how to seek asylum, is you can be in the United States and declare that you're in fear for your life and you're seeking asylum in the United States. That was the law that Trump tried to change, making it so migrants couldn't go across and declare themselves as asylum seekers on that side. Once they're on that side, Trump wants them to be criminals and illegal, sort of what he's trying to do. And then there's a Ninth Circuit judge in California overturned that. And so that's going on right now. And also there's conversations with Mexico and the United States about making all asylum seekers wait in Mexico as their asylum cases move forward through the process in the United States. Immigration rights activists and so on have said that that's not really great, because it's going to put them all in one place to be waiting, so that people who are looking for them to hurt them, to enact violence on them, will know exactly where they're at. And so that's what we've been hearing out here. If you look back, we interviewed a woman who was when she was living in Honduras, had to pay a gang to be where she was at. And when they stopped paying, they burned down her house. And then she moved to a different state in Honduras, and the gang came and found her and killed her brothers, and now she's on the run from that. And so that's her story of why she's here and why she's trying to seek asylum, and also her explanation of what it was like to be just a woman with a child on this long road, and how she had to actually walk a lot more, because when people would stop to pick people up, she couldn't run to get in the back of trucks, couldn't do all that stuff because she had this child she had to care for, and so she would kind of be at the end of lines. And that's what I've been hearing a lot too in the camp. As these giant food queues show up, the people at the very end are stuck waiting the longest. And so we're hearing a lot of stuff here. Obviously, it's just a lot of people in a very small space. Supplies are have dwindled. People are worried about water, access to water, health care. The woman we spoke to said that they had a cold, and that seems to be spreading through the camp. From what we're hearing, is there's a lot of people who have different sort of like respiratory issues as they sort of in this space together and they're developing. And the woman was saying that the medicine they've given her, there is medicine available, hasn't really helped. It hasn't really done a lot. So yeah, we just wanted to bring this out, show you where this sort of like fortifications by the United States are placed with their razor wire across the top. Where this happened that day, and from our understanding, once you get to that side, that's the US of A over there. And so that's it. I don't know. We're gonna check really quick to see if there's anything I should be answering. Again, everyone who's donated. Someone's asking if the border's open. It was open when we walked over. Our information is that it's been closed twice now since all this started occurring. I think the second time for a little bit longer, but it did open up later in the day. When we came in a cab, I like to talk to a lot of the cab drivers since I get to talk to a lot of people. And he was saying that this is really affecting both sides economically. Now there's less people kind of coming to Tijuana because they're afraid that Trump is going to shut down the border and then they'll be stuck on this side. And also with people going to the United States, they're afraid they're going to get stuck on the United States side, as Mexican citizens, if you will. And so that's kind of has caused a little bit of a less, he said there's less people coming now, which is doing like economic impact to the area, which is something that I thought correlates to kind of what happened in Standing Rock when they created that blockade north of the Standing Rock, which stopped commerce from going down that road and be able to access the casino, which was a lot of sort of the driver of the economics in the area. So you kind of have that going on now with the threats of shutting down this border, which is one of the most traveled, traversal borders, I think, in the United States. People are crossing constantly. If you've never crossed the border down here, you just show your identification and go through, and people are trying to do that and declare asylum. And again, these queues are getting very long. People are becoming impatient as they run out of food and water, and we just won't know what really will happen until it does. But already we've seen a manifestation of people trying to become visible and having encounters here at the border and meeting basically pepper balls and tear gas. So give me 1 second, I'm going to look at this really quick and then I'm going to take this down. We want to do just a quick update. I really quick want to say thank you to everyone who's watching on Periscope, Facebook, YouTube, and Livestream, and on our website, unicornriot.ninja. Thanks a lot. We got a helicopter overhead, but so again, thank you so much for following us here on unicornriot.ninja, and thanks for your continued support to all our supporters who've donated monetarily, funded this sort of coverage. We're doing our best to kind of increase this quality of what you're seeing, and also, we're doing a lot of troubleshooting and stuff as we're out here. So we get out here, we kind of figure out what's working best, figure out the right sort of like recipe, if you will, and then we're sending this information out. So, anyways, I'm Lorenzo, I'm your host. We have Andrew on the camera, we have John Z on the back end, we have a bunch of other people in the collective who are doing different kind of work in the back. So thank you everybody who's running that stuff. Thank you all of you for joining us, and then please share that link. Please like it and all that stuff. This is the only way people see it. We don't pay for commercials. We don't put commercials. We don't make money off commercials. We're a nonprofit. We're driven by your donations. So thanks to everyone who donated. That's why this is possible, and we're going to do our best to stay out here. And that's about it. So thanks a lot for joining us. We'll be back out here again tomorrow, and we're going to be roaming around for a little bit and see what else we can find. So I'm Lorenzo, and I'm out.